No, you showed up there and you got a pass because of me. Like, you got a pass because I'm smarter than to let dudes follow you and do something to you and your partners.
You know, for him, he understand and know exactly what it is. And, you know, if you got a problem, do something when you see me, sucker.
All right, now, Tim Thomas and your boy Kenyon Martin have had a beef for a very long time, and it flared back up recently when Tim Thomas did an interview and he talked about supposedly punking Kenyon Martin in his own hood. Now, I'll play what Tim Thomas said later on in the video, but for everybody who already saw that, we gonna start with Kenyon Martin's response. Y'all better like the video. Y'all better subscribe. Let's get it.
You stated you came to Club Blue and you bitch me in my own hood, basically. That's a stretch, but okay. So let's go back. You say you bitch me in the club and you made me put my back up against the wall, but you see me a week later and you need a pistol? Like, I'm confused. If I just made somebody look bad in the club or I bitched him and I'm going to his hood, why I need a gun? Why I need a pistol? Right? Like, I'm confused. Like, if I'm such this bitch that you just did something to, like, why you need a pistol? All right, cool. But that's one question that I have. The other question is, can you please tell the people what happened said night in this Club Blue in Dallas? That's the name of the club. Like, can you please tell the people what happened in Club Blue since you're telling the story? If you're gonna tell stories, let's tell the whole truth. Did you finish the night in Club Blue? We'll wait on that answer. And what happened when you left Club Blue? Did you go out the front door? I don't think you went out the front door. I wonder why. I really wonder why you didn't go out the front door. Because the lady that was hosting the club asked you to leave. Because she don't want your blood on her hand. She took you down the service elevator. She took you down the service elevator. And you talking about you in my hood with pistols, as you said, you flying around with them? No, you in my hood. And this is young other Dallas dudes that wanted to issue with you. Dudes was gonna follow you out of there. I said no. Because you know who would have got in trouble for anything happening to you in Dallas? Me. Smarter than that. Very, right? No, we're not gonna do that. And the DJ played every song imaginable to get you stumped out in the club. I'm talking about 04 here, right? You think about the music that was being played in the club at 04 in the South. This is crunk. We gonna bust your head, boy. Like, this is what's going on in where I'm from. Probably played Bout It, Master P, Lil Jon, you name it, man. Like, this is what's going on in Oak Cliff, in Club Blue. The original Oak Cliff anthem made by my partner Bowleg. Those that's from Oak Cliff know. Oak Cliff, that's my hood. Put it in his face, get that shit understood. So you ain't bitching nobody in that hood, not that club, no. Club Blue was the hangout for the homies. Seen plenty dudes get stumped out in Club Blue, and they was gonna add you to the docket, player. So, not there, homie. Like, no, you showed up there and you got a pass because of me. Like, you got a pass because I'm smarter than to let dudes follow you and do something to you and your partners while y'all out of bounds. Because you're out of bounds. And you so stupid not to realize that you put you and your homeboy's life in jeopardy that day by showing up in that club. But like I said, I'm smarter than you. I didn't let nothing happen to you. But back to me and you. Around that time, right? 2004. I'm 26, 27? Wanted all action with everybody at any given time. So what makes you any different than any other man that I came across? Go do your homework, go do your research, dog. 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, any of them years, bruh. Anybody, right? No filter, no, my wick was short. So patience with people, you, other people, zero. Zero tolerance. And maybe I missed it. Maybe I wasn't in the NBA during your tenure as an NBA player. Maybe I missed it. But if I can recall, I don't remember you ever being in a altercation, pushing match, throwing spitballs at one another. I don't recall you doing touching and letting nobody do like nothing, bruh, during your tenure. So, but maybe is there some type of like mythical rumor going around where you from that you walking around the streets like Kimbo Slice, knocking people out? Like, maybe I missed it. Maybe you walking around the streets of Jersey like Kimbo. Maybe this myth that I'm not privy to. But far as I know, you ain't did nothing to nobody at no point. Teammate, ex-teammate, opponent, high school, college, like there's nothing that for me at any point to be afraid of you. Your name Timothy. Why would I be afraid about your name Timothy? So let's not lie to these people, man. Like I wasn't gonna do this, but I woke up and I chose different today. Got a nice line on my beard. Hey, man. So I woke up and you know what? Feel good, look good. Why not? You want some attention? Why not give it to you? So whatever he's promoting, you guys, please go out and support it. Because he wanted some attention. Right? You go on the podcast, you let them walk you into it. Like, dude, this has been going on entirely too long, man. Like, this has been going on entirely too long, dog. Like, you... And, like, so, here's another... Like, you know, you do your research and you look things up and why am I listed on your Wikipedia page? Like, why? Another question. why am I listed on your Wikipedia page? So, I can come up with my conclusion, but because I'm listed on your page because I'm probably the most important thing that didn't happen to your NBA career. Why am I listed on your Wikipedia page? It's supposed to be about your accolades and what you did. Right? Why am I listed on your Wikipedia? I'll wait. Right? Oh, nothing. But okay, so, but yeah, man, let's not lie to these people, man. And so you mentioned another thing on the thing you did that was sent my way. You're talking about a situation that happened in Phoenix or some sort with weight room and all that. Like, bruh, don't remember it. So it wasn't that important, obviously. Obviously, if we're in the weight room, I'm working on my pregame ritual, and you're the last thing I'm worried about. And if I was in the weight room, if this situation did happen, I was in there with one of the strength and conditioning guys from the Denver Nuggets, and it's one of two people, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have let nothing happen. And you bring Julius Hodge up in this conversation, and that I bought him some suits and a TV. So you don't think that's a vet looking out for a rookie? A guy who needs something, or I'm looking at the way you're dressing and looking out for him? So don't believe this hype of things that's being spewed, man. Like, it's not that, for real. Don't lie to these people, man. If you're gonna tell stories, let's tell the whole story. Right? Ain't at no point. And I'm just, my memory going, right? So you did a podcast with Scoop B a few years back. You did a podcast with Scoop B. And Scoop B, you told this gentleman that you slapped me with some money. And my question is, when did this allegedly happen? Like, when? And of all the shit that I've talked, of all the fights that I've said I've been in, all the fights that I've been in, you would think that if this situation had happened and ain't nobody ever said anything. Like, so what was this, in a dark alley? It was just me and you? And nobody's ever heard of this? Like, let's stop it, man. like, come on, man. Like, I didn't put my hands on people for less. So you think that you gonna touch me of any sort, dude, and ain't nobody gonna ever hear about it? Like, let's stop it. We're two NBA players, bruh. Somebody would have heard about it. We heard about other people putting their hands on other people throughout time and situations, and all stories get out. All stories get out. So why ain't nobody heard of this story? Because it didn't happen, right? It didn't happen. Stop lying to these people, man. Promote whatever it is that you're gonna promote, man. Like, promote what you're gonna promote, bruh. Like, it don't have to include me. It don't have to include me. So, like I said, if you're gonna tell stories, dog, tell them. But tell these people the truth.
Now, like I told y'all before, we are going to see what Tim Thomas said previously to get Kenyon Martin to respond in this manner. But I want to let y'all know this was a very long live from Kenyon Martin, almost about 30 minutes. And he did bring one of his homeboys, on the live to confirm the story about what went down in the club, all right? I just didn't want to play the whole thing because I didn't want this video to be too long, but if y'all want to watch the whole live from Kenyon, I'm sure it's still on his Instagram. He just brought his homeboy on to confirm everything that he just said, okay? Now let's see what Tim Thomas said before Kenyon Martin responded.
It made me think about you and Kenyon Martin rivalry, man. So talk about that a little bit. How did that wind up? Like, how that, I like dramas.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
It's Uncle Murda. It's Uncle Murda. You know.
No. So I was actually with the Knicks, and he was with the Nets. They beat us, and one of his teammates came across and like kind of clotheslined me. So when he clotheslined me, I was numb on one side of my body. So I had to go to the hospital, IV, blah, blah, blah. So I was out of the series. So it's like anything else.
I can't even remember it went that deep like that. Okay, yeah.
So that's my livelihood. That's how I'm feeding my family. You know what I'm saying? So me and Jason Collins, we actually had the same agent. So he called to check in on me, blah, blah, blah. So I was more pissed off at my teammates for not retaliating. You know what I'm saying? It's like anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Ride out, nigga.
Right, exactly. So
like how I hold Murda down when they run up on him for the wrap up.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that.
Same.
So it went back and forth in the media, and then he said something that caught my attention, like put us in the room and let's see who walk out. So now that's like some.
Oh, he don't know he talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Patterson,
Exactly.
Patterson, New Jersey?
Now you taking
Exactly.
it besides basketball.
Ain't that sweet in Jersey?
Yeah. So now it's different. So the rest of that summer is going on. So I actually caught him in a club in New York. He had his cool shoes on. He was in there. He had the church shoes on, the cool shoes. So I caught him in there. He put his back up against the wall. So I'm like, we already know what that's about.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't want no smoke, no nothing or whatever. So I just completely let it be. So, in the summertime, we do a lot of charity events and different events. So I had to go to Dallas like a week later, where he lives. You know what I mean? So I've been flying private. We've been playing with those things. I mean, before they started.
Tell him, Tim.
Before it was cool.
Yeah,
before they started going and trying to figure out what you got in your bag. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we get out there and, I kind of embarrassed him in his own town. So that's why he constantly keep, talking and saying different things. And then, the rest of my career, every time I would get a chance, I would just, poke at him. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It was an incident
It's
in
crazy
Phoenix.
You mad humble. I knew you for years.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
But once I flip, man, it's on.
Jersey,
You know what I'm saying?
Patterson.
All that humbleness.
Once that Patterson jersey.
So to go back to what you're saying, like I completely left it alone. Like me and this dude, we're damn near neighbors in California.
Okay, look at that.
Same dentist, same grocery store, same gas station, same mall. Our wives had kids around the same time, same doctor. Like this could have, you know what I'm saying? Like we could have been got it on.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Getting petty. That's petty.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
what he's mad about is one of his teammates, good brother from the city, Julius Hodge. Julius Hodge was in the weight room one time. I caught him right before the game. I was about to rough him up a little bit. Julius stopped the action, and being that Julius stopped the action, that's when we had to wear suits in the league. Yeah. So Kmart went and bought him 5 suits and a TV. You know what I'm saying, to try to keep everybody from knowing what's going on with the situation. But, for me, it ain't about nothing. And, for him, he understand and know exactly what it is. And, if you got a problem, do something when you see me, sucker.
That's crazy.
God damn. Yeah. You heard that here. When you see
That's what a murder like that. We like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into a couple of these details. Now, look, I'm not trying to take sides. I'm just going by what I heard. All right. Now, when you listen to Tim Thomas initially, because you saw Kenyon Martin was just responding to everything Tim Thomas said. So when you listen to Tim, you see he kind of describes this first altercation at a club in New York. He says, yo, I saw him at the club. He had on his shiny shoes and he put his back against the wall, and we know what that means. And I guess at that point, he was willing to let it go until another thing happened or whatever. Remember, he said the only reason it was an issue was because Kenyon Martin, I guess he said in a press conference that put us both in the same room and let's see who walk out. And he took that as more than basketball. And if it started like that, Kenyon, you do have to admit that you was the first one to escalate it. But also, Kenyon is saying in the live, hey, that's the type of timing I was on back then. Had a very short fuse. We know who he was in the NBA. We know he was an enforcer. So none of that should really surprise us, okay? But my whole point is, Tim Thomas described the first altercation in New York and what happened and how it went down, but he really didn't get into any details about what happened when he went down south. All he said was, I kind of embarrassed him in his hood. It wasn't a lot of detail, if I'm mistaken. We might want to play that one more time.
So we get out there and I kind of embarrassed him in his own town. So that's why he constantly keep talking and saying,
about you guys.
See, he don't go into any detail. Now you see, Kenyon, he went on to describe a few things in more detail, right? I don't think Kenyon really talked about whatever this altercation was in New York. I remember Kenyon talked about Tim Thomas did another interview where he said he smacked him with some money. You see, Kenyon Martin is denying that, saying, hey, this is a fictional story. Why ain't nobody else ever came out and talked about this? All stories come out. When did you smack me with some money? But like I said, let's specifically get back to this down south situation. And this is where it gets a little far-fetched for me because, like I said earlier, we know Kenyon Martin's pedigree, who he was on and off the court. And so Tim Thomas is saying he flew on a plane and he had the piece on him. And so he went to a club and embarrassed Kenyon Martin. He didn't say how he did it. He didn't get into any detail. And Kenyon tells the story where basically, hey, some people got you up out the club. It was some people there with me that wanted to do something to you. But look, because I'm in the NBA and if anything would have popped off, I would have took the blame. I chose to be smart that night and we just let you go on about your business. But I'll also say that, look, and I don't know anybody from Kenyon Martin's hood or, the relationships that he has. I'm just speaking from common sense. Y'all know when it's an athlete and he's in his hometown, we know a lot of people, they tend to show loyalty to the famous guy who made it out the hood, whether they want something from him or whether they grew up with him, whether it's love or it's fake love, they tend to show some loyalty, especially in those type of situations. So it's hard to believe, at least for me, that Tim Thomas could be in Kenyon Martin's hometown with a whole bunch of people who love Kenyon Martin and just punk him there and then nothing happened. I tend to believe Kenyon where it's like, hey, some people probably wanted to respond to whatever Tim Thomas did that night and they let him get out of there. Obviously, it's down south. Y'all know a lot of crazy stuff goes on down south. We know the places in America where it goes down. It wouldn't surprise me back in 2004 if Club Blue was one of them spots. And they said they got Tim Thomas out of there through the back door and nothing happened. So first and foremost, if I'm Tim Thomas, what's your side of what went down that night? Just don't say you embarrassed him. What's the details? And like I said, you had Kenyon's homeboy come on and he said, hey, when Kenyon Martin was in New York, we've been through clubs, 100,000 worth of jury on. It was never an issue. So they don't even know about this situation that Tim Thomas is talking about where he put his back against the wall. And when he said, we all know what that's about, I'm like, well, maybe he put his back against the wall waiting for you to do something. But at the end of the day, these is two grown dudes with families, retired, not in the league no more, and still going back and forth about some old stuff, right? Even when Tim Thomas was doing his interview, he talked about how they was neighbors and had, kids that grew up together. And when people got money, they live in similar places. Their kids go to similar schools. Just like this picture we see on the screen here, right? Obviously, they was probably living close to each other or staying close to each other at one point in time, saw each other at the grocery store. decided to flick it up. So yeah, you in close proximity with each other. I'm sure y'all could have both got it on like Tim Thomas said, but why not? Y'all both grown. And this is one of those situations where it's like, is it too heated for both of y'all to get on camera and talk about it publicly, or maybe off camera and have a discussion? You know what I mean? I don't think either of y'all want to grab the hammers or do nothing crazy like that. Maybe y'all do want to scrap or something like that. Who knows? But still, both of y'all are ex-NBA players. Kenyon Martin played for a long time. No disrespect to Kenyon Martin. We know when you play basketball, you know, you sacrifice your body to make those millions of dollars. So you know, both of y'all probably not in fighting shape. You know what I mean? So let's just talk about it. See what went wrong. Maybe make a couple of dollars. Maybe use it for entertainment. But I don't think it's that serious. But we'll see what comes from this. Y'all tell me who y'all believe. Do y'all believe Kenyon Martin? Do y'all believe Tim Thomas? And let's just be honest. We see Kenyon Martin all the time on Gilbert Arenas. He's the bigger player. He's the more well-known household name. It is going to be some favoritism in this as well if we just keeping it real. Even Kenyon Martin talked about this when he said, hey, you know, my name is on your Wikipedia page. I'm one of the biggest things that happened to you. Our little beef kind of kept you relevant too. And I say all that to say Tim Thomas is already kind of fighting a downhill battle because, you know, Kenyon is the bigger star and the more relevant star. And he's been going back and forth with a lot of people. And I think a lot of people feel like he's been taking W's, whether it's with Draymond Green or anybody else. So y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.